Going, everybody. All right, so last night on Raw, WWE announced that on SmackDown this week, Brock Lesnar's SummerSlam opponent would be announced, and it's very intriguing because this is a very intriguing time to do it when everybody's kind of mixed up in feuds. And why would you go ahead and foreshadow or go ahead and say his opponent for later? It will kind of wrap up a feud right now, if you know what I'm talking about. But I wanted to give a top 10 kind of list of who I think should face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and this would makes pretty much no sense, but it would make sense to me. It's stuff that I would like to see, and I'm very opinionated about it. But yeah, comment below, let me know what you would like. Who would you like to see Brock Lesnar face at SummerSlam? Would you like to see him rehash an old feud? Would you like him to face somebody new? Do you care at all? Let me know below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'm going to say that now because I won't do it at the end because I'm going to forget. So thank you so much for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. Let's get to the list. Number 10 is Kevin Owens. This would pretty much cement him as being the next big thing, even though he kind of already is. But you can't admit that he kind of tailed off after his whirlwind feud with John Cena. So after that, he's kind of been stable, and he really needs that push. And I think Brock Lesnar can be that push. Now, number 9, I kind of cheated, and I did Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I do not think Battleground is going to be the finality of this battle between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So what better way to elevate this feud than to have them face Brock Lesnar in a triple threat match at SummerSlam? It would enhance the story by a million, and it gives Brock an out in case he is injured, and they still want him to perform, but he can't as he normally would. Because there's always that thought of, okay, well, he could lose at UFC, or he could just get the shit beat out of him and win. It doesn't matter because then you would have it out in a triple threat match. Now, this is the only triple threat match I have on my list because I didn't want to make it just triple threat match. And once we get to the top, you're going to kind of understand why. But yeah, that's the only one that would make sense, though, is the elevation of the feud between Owens and Zayn. And adding Brock to that element just makes it that much better. Number 8, this is a long shot, and it's Shinsuke Nakamura. I would love to see this match. I know a lot of people out there would, and it's happened before in Japan. But that was a long time ago, before Shinsuke was Shinsuke and before Brock was really Brock. And it makes a lot of sense for this to happen. Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense for that to be Shinsuke's debut match. It would be impactful, but it would kind of be a loss unless he would upset Brock Lesnar, which they could play up the UFC thing. And that's the other thing that you have to understand with this going forward, is how much the commentators and how much the booking team can really play up this UFC fight until like Brock is injured and this person can take advantage of that. So maybe this could be Shinsuke's call up. I would love that. I think everybody out there would love that, and a match between them two would be amazing at SummerSlam. Number 7, Triple H. And I only say this because of the storyline opportunity that really is WWE versus UFC, and how, Brock went to do the UFC thing, turning his back on WWE. Triple H calls him out, whatever. Anyway, Triple H needs a match for SummerSlam. Now, I personally believe he's going to be facing Seth Rollins. I would like to see that story kind of commence and the whole authority angle from way back when be completely done and over with in that capacity. But I could see Brock versus Triple H being a thing again at SummerSlam, second only to WrestleMania. They've got to have big names on the card, and that's a big name, Triple H. No matter what anybody says, that's a huge name. But yeah, and number 6, and this would have been more accurate probably 6 weeks ago than it is now, Bray Wyatt. And even more so, it would have been more accurate a year ago because his character's been so damaged by lack of booking and by lack of character building. Well, I should say lack of character stabilization. This character's been just hacked away at, and not by Bray, but by his booking opponents, by the writing staff. And it's really disappointing because he could have been something great. And in my eyes, when I see Bray Wyatt, it's just nothing but empty words. I enjoy watching him thoroughly. I would enjoy this match still. It just doesn't have the allure that it would have had a year or two ago. But with that being said, number 5, I'm about to say 6 again. Number 5, and I know it's going to be John Cena. Again, SummerSlam is an event. It's an event to get eyes on the product, and when the ratings are at kind of a decline right now, they kind of need a punch in the butt, kick in the butt, kick in the ass. Punch. Why would you punch somebody in the butt? That would hurt, though. It would hurt. Yeah, John Cena, just off of namesake alone, keeps Cena out of the title picture right now, which I think you really need to do. Keep him as far away as, especially if they're bringing another championship, you need to keep Cena as far away from both titles as possible, because you do not want him getting that, tying Ric Flair's record. You could. You don't want to. Not right now. Not when there's so much talent right there. Yeah, I think that's more of a WrestleMania moment more than anything. It could be a SummerSlam moment, but I think that's the WrestleMania moment to kind of cement the career of Cena, and maybe that could be his. He leaves after that. Hopefully, he does. What do I know? But yeah, I know it's a rehash, and we've seen it multiple times. Again, it's a marquee event. That's what you got to do. It all comes down to money. And number 4, when I say it all comes down to money, man, AJ Styles. I would love to see the dynamic between the club and Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. I would love to see the back and forth and the build up. Again, you can have him sell the UFC injury really, really hard and have AJ bring that Japan feeling back to his game, which I know it never left. But you can bring more of a Japanese style because they both wrestled in Japan, so they both know the intensity of it, and Brock sure as hell could sell it if he had to. So with this, I think it could really benefit both of them going forward. And again, it keeps on elevating AJ. Maybe he doesn't have a championship now, but it's right there. It's right there. And this would be a great way to introduce Finn Balor, if you're going to. I mean, they don't have to. I think by now they really don't need to. I would like them to. Having a 4-man stable and a 3-man stable world would really set them apart, because right now it's just all talk. So this and AJ facing Brock Lesnar would be a huge deal. But with that being said, number 3, and this is a huge long shot only because of WrestleMania 20, Goldberg. Goldberg, he signed the 2K17 deal, so he's going to have to do promotional work. So he's going to be in a WWE ring before long. Why not make it SummerSlam? Why not have him face Brock Lesnar? Again, you have to go back to, this probably won't happen because of the whole UFC deal, because Goldberg hasn't been in a WWE ring in Lord knows how long. I mean, God, it's been forever. Literally forever since he's been in a ring before he's wrestled a match, and he would probably have to carry the entire match. Yeah, that would just be difficult, and that's where the whole triple threat thing comes into mind, is that you would probably need another contender for this match as well to go in there with Goldberg and with possibly injured Brock Lesnar and making this work. Number 2, huge-ass long shot, and I say this only because of how much I don't believe it, and that's Kurt Angle. I do not believe that he is staying away from the company. He's been very vocal, and so has WWE, which is really weird. Really weird if you think about it. I think this could happen, and I would be astonished if it did, because I would love this. As a fan of WWE, as a fan of wrestling, I would love this. It would make a lot of sense. It could be the start of Kurt Angle's send-off at WrestleMania 33. It could just be great for all parties. I would love to see this happen, and I don't know that a person that wouldn't want to see this happen, because Kurt Angle can still carry Brock Lesnar through a match, even if he is injured at UFC. So that's where my thinking's at with that as well. Number 1, whoever holds the WWE title. And that's pretty much where I think they're going to go with this. That's storyline-wise the only way I think they can go on with this, is you stick him in there with the champ. I don't think you put him in there with a triple threat match, and that's why I say he's in there with Dean Ambrose. I know. Listen, WrestleMania was shit. The match they had was shit. There's been some hearsay back and forth backstage about, well, he signed the contract to go do UFC. He didn't want to get injured, and he just restructured his deal the night before, and that's not fair to Dean Ambrose. And of course it's not. That's why I think you do this match. I think you do this match. You show Dean coming out on top, beating the Beast, not having Reigns in the match, not having Seth Rollins in the match, we've already seen those two go at it with Lesnar. We've only seen Ambrose Lesnar once, and it was disappointing. Why not have a little retribution? Give us the match. Don't have it as a street fight. Don't have it as anything. Just have it as a legitimate one-on-one normal match. Paul Heyman at ringside. Have that go down. Have Dean Ambrose retain. Have it work. Make Dean Ambrose a star, and that's how you do it. That is legitimately how you can make Dean Ambrose a star, is you put him up against the big dog who might have just won a UFC fight after not being in the UFC ring in God knows how many years, after a battle with diverticulitis, which is whatever. It's definitely a big ailment, but of course he said he was fine for his last fight. He wasn't, so who knows. But he has been in the UFC ring forever, dominating WWE, goes off and he wins a UFC fight, comes back, loses to Dean Ambrose. Now, of course, they can play up the injury angle. They can do whatever they want. That's fine. But it makes Dean Ambrose look like a star. Because right now, that's what they need. They need more stars going forward. And I think they have that with AJ. I think they have that with Shinsuke. I think they have that with Brock. I think they have it with John Cena. Possibly Finn Balor when he's brought up. You have that with Seth. If they book him right after this, you don't have that with Reigns. You don't, unless you book him as a heel. You don't. You need that in Ambrose. And this is how you do it. So that's my top 10 list. I think whoever the WWE champion is at the time, Lesnar's going to face him. And everything else is just a pipe dream right now. But let me know what you guys think below. As I said before, thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. I remember this time, don't forget to like, share, subscribe below. It really helps me out an ass ton. So I will see you guys in the next video. I will probably have the SmackDown recap, spoilers, and who Brock's opponent is later on tonight. So be looking for that. Thank you so much again, and goodbye.